Welcome everyone, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Ask Simmo, courtesy of ECU. Certainly some more positivity with the fan questions this week, Simmo. We're going to get to them shortly, but as usual, I usually put my 5 cents in. Now, I wanted to get to this issue first. I wondered if you've been playing Shannon Hearn out of position for your time. Lockdown defender for Bunga. It was very good.
Well, yeah. I'm not surprised, but when it was thrown up, it was like, okay, well, how's he going to handle that? Because not having Barrass or McGovern's a challenge, and young Bazzo's 19, probably doesn't have the experience to handle the big players. So we didn't do it last week on Curnow, probably should have. But yeah, there's a way to go about it, and he picked up really quick and he executed. I think the pressure up the ground helped as well. Yeah,
that was good. Talking about the game as a whole, the atmosphere. I was out there as the siren went. It was crazy, but people loved it. Yeah, it was awesome. The players would have loved it as well, I'm assuming.
Well, some of them just they're not used to it. So, and winning, that is. This year's been a challenge. Those young fellas coming in, winning at home is a special feeling at West Coast. Yeah, there's no doubt the crowd get involved. And, it's been a pretty difficult season. But the wins we've had, the two, the young players can't believe how loud the crowd is and how engaged they are.
There is a difference between winning and losing. I know you're going to. You knew it. I'm just waiting for it. But the feeling now, if North Melbourne kick another goal, you lose. The way you've played the game hasn't changed at all, really. But you lose. But you win this game. How much does that change for those young players? Like, actually, I know they haven't won this year. So winning from a teaching perspective.
This is the longest question I've ever heard. I don't even know what the question was.
I can do the one long one for you.
I'm trying to...
How important is winning from a teaching perspective from a head coach, Adam Simpson?
Yeah, it's important, but if we hadn't have won on the weekend, I think we still would have rewarded the players with the effort, because we had 31 forward 50 stoppages, 26 forward 50 tackles, 60 inside 50s. We kept them to 44 uncontested marks. So there's a lot of things that we're chasing all year that we haven't been able to do for 4 quarters. And we didn't do it for 4 quarters on the weekend, but we did it really, really well for 2.5. So, yeah, that we would have still rewarded the same. So to have a win on the back of that after, it was a really heavy week last week for the club and for everyone, for me, for our players. So just to push that aside a little bit and concentrate and actually having a smile on your face coming in to work on a Monday is something we haven't really been able to do.
Good. All right, let's keep these short then, because Simmo doesn't like the long questions. Melissa Kidd, what was the biggest positive out of the win over North from your perspective?
I just went through it, really. The numbers that we're looking, like the games, I've said this a few times here, that the game's changed a little bit. It's very craft orientated. It's about how you handle your opponent and then your transition, all those things we've been talking about. So to get the contest right in general play, I think we're plus 20 in that. So it's a really honest way of playing now, and the strategic part's quite difficult with the new rules. We used to do all those little tactical things. Even the zoning of the field is harder now with the skill that you got to defend and the man the mark rule and all those things. So yeah, it's more of an honest way of playing now.
Interesting. Loz C asks, what was your message pre-game? Something looked different from the start?
We spoke about spirit. We spoke about how I'm seeing it now, and it takes a while, and you were obviously part of the journey we were on, and it started before I even got to the club. And I can see a new journey starting, and this young group of 15 to 20 players are really starting to take control of the day-to-day activities. They've got the energy for it, and so I'm seeing really good spirit Monday to Friday, probably not seeing it as much on game day. So we challenged them to try and bring that out on game day. And what does it actually mean and look like is the challenge for us. How do we express ourselves on game day from a spirit point of view?
And that's what it looks like?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's the little things. It's actually hard to define. I reflected back on round 1 in 18 when we played Sydney, at Optus. It was the first game.
I remember.
Buddy kicked 8 on you.
I'll get to that at the end of this.
So there was something going on there, though, that was above the game. And the crowd obviously was engaged, but the way the players responded to each other on field, we were all actually really pleased about that. So that's what I'm chasing at the moment.
Good. Daniel Brooker asks Simmo, JD looked like he was covering more ground yesterday. Did you give him a licence to get on his bike, or was he just playing high up the ground?
He's always got the licence to get on his bike.
I haven't seen Jack take too many marks at the top of the goal square defensive end before, though.
No, well...
And then run down the field and have an
do
inside
the dummy.
50.
Yeah. No, I think internally he's been working really hard. Probably hasn't had the reward for effort, and he's coming off syndesmosis pre-season. He's broke his arm early in the season, and he dislocated his shoulder about 4 weeks ago, and it's just been hanging in there. So he just had a really good first quarter, and he did it through defence, which we all noticed, and that's probably connecting to the spirit piece. Like when you see your key forward take a grab in the goal square, you sort of know he's there for the team, and that was really important.
Yep. Stefan asks, how happy are you with Elijah Hewitt's development so far?
Yeah, he's going well. I don't think he got the Rising Star Award, which I know he's chasing. Hence the banana on the run, running away from goals.
Good one.
Yeah. So he's, what do you have, 20 odd touches on the weekend. He's a power athlete. He's going to suit the modern game. So, and he's 18. So we just got to taper our expectations a little bit. But he's had a really good rise this year. Good.
Avatar 5991. How will you carry the momentum of this week into training into Essendon Saturday?
Yeah, I've been thinking hard about that because the last month we've been 8-day break home, 6-day break away, and it's going to happen again this week. And we've got the Bombers, and we haven't handled the 6-day break away. So we'll obviously review the game normally, but training, what can we do a bit differently? What do we do in Melbourne? I'm just trying to think what can we tweak to get them in the right headspace, albeit it shouldn't really be about that. We should be ready to go, but we just haven't got that right all year.
You took desserts off the table at some stage when I was playing. Is that on the table? Are they still not back? Are they still not back?
You abused the apple crumble, and that's what that happened.
B Hart, sharpshooter. The last question from our fans: how did you celebrate last night after breaking the drought?
No, I just don't have the up and down, and I think it's really good for me personally not to get too down, but I can't get too up, so which annoys me. So I was actually thinking, okay, great, I had a good win. I just did exactly what I did last week, so I didn't do anything different. I watched the cricket, and got to bed about 10.
Last one from me. Buddy Franklin's just retired. You were coach of his.
Yeah.
Any reflections on his career? Any stories? No. Any reflections? I mean, one of the greats, if not the greatest, probably of the modern era AFL.
Yeah. I remember I used to catch myself a little bit thinking this guy's one of the greatest players of all time, and I'm not coaching him. I'm guiding him. I took over the forward line for 1 or 2 years in 2013, and he was having 8 to 10 shots a game, and it was just how straight was he going to be? And there wasn't a lot of coaching going on with that. The only thing that we try to encourage is to spread the load. And he actually sacrificed probably 20 to 30 goals that year to give Roughhead a look, and Roughhead ended up winning the Coleman, and they won the premiership. So as much as it's been about him his whole career, he's very selfless and very team orientated.
Why didn't you start me on him in 2018 round 1 then? Why'd you let him kick 5 goals before you put him in?
Who was on him?
Tom Barrass. You started Tom Barrass, or Daniel Pratt actually made that decision.
Yeah. Well,
it could have been a different year. We actually prepped all pre-season to win that game.
We did, yeah. We might have kicked 12 if you had started on him. So
that's all we've got time for this week's instalment of Ask Simmo. Thanks to ECU. We appreciate everyone who wrote in, so please keep them coming for the remainder of the season. Bombers next Saturday. Good luck.
Thanks, mate.